That's word because you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time.
Welcome to this week's episode of Talking Footy, the only decent footy show going out to the people. I'm your host Sean, and with me this week, a special guest. You might recognise him, the living legend himself, coffee entrepreneur, Ryan Girdler. Thanks mate, thanks for coming. Anytime, it's all good. You're not wrong mate. One thing about that weekend was really good. Round 2 was another cracker. Mate, we did have the Bulldogs outlasted their old fellows, the Eels, to get the 2 points, their first for the year. Now the Steelers were woeful in Wollongong against Brisbane. Melbourne proved far too strong for North Queensland. Sunnyville and the Roosters scraped home against the Warriors. Gold Coast slapped Canberra silly. I mean, that was just a drubbing. Who else? The Tigers bounced back to beat the Panthers. Ooh, didn't like that one. Manly turned Newcastle from contenders into pretenders. Yeah, that was a bad one. And finally, South held on to beat Cronulla by the barest of margins. A few tight ones and a few blowouts. But hey, that's the beauty of the early season form. Goods, any thoughts? Mate, I do agree with you there. Unfortunately, some players did have a rough patch. Keith Galloway and Lachlan Coote, poor bastards. During the same game, they come off with almost this identical injury. Shows from there. Unfortunately, Coote has since been ruled out for the season. Now, on Gerd's advice, I actually did ring up the Penrith medical team and offer to donate my pectoral muscle to Lachlan Coote if there was some kind of operation for that. And I was told that even if there was that kind of operation, that unfortunately my pectoral muscle would reduce his strength, skill, toughness, and pretty much his mobility, everything to do with the game. I would have arced up, but can't argue with him there. Alrighty, a bit of a shock this week. Bulldogs winger Steve Turner has decided to hang up the boots. He's called it quits after a degenerative knee problem has really just ruined his enjoyment of the game. It's a bit of a shame. We wish him all the best. Gerds, you actually played with Steve Turner back in 2003 when he played first grade for the Panthers. How did you find him back then? Well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed that he's remembered for something more than just being the speed hump for Greg Inglis in his one and only Origin game. Now it's about time we get back to our most popular segment, Who's Shit House and Who's Shit Hot. Gerds, you got for us this week? Ooh, no. Strong words from the Innocent King. For me, Asada is shit house. This prolonged investigation is dragging people's reputations through the mud, and unfortunately the mud is sticking. I mean, so far Paul Gallen's been dragged from VB's promotion to Origin. That's still like 2 months or a month and a half away, almost 2 months away. It's a joke. Now, if they have something, come out and say it. If not, stop the witch hunt and let the game go forward. Everyone's fed up with it. We've had enough. Do your job, do it right. Now, shit hot is Josh Reynolds. His form last year was outstanding, and last Thursday continued on with that form, looking great. Mate, we can see why he has been touted as a future Origin player. That solo try he scored against Para not only showed his class, but also his confidence. The fact that he took Hayne on at fullback, threw the dummy, and then managed to run the rest of the field to get that try. Brilliant. Mate, it's that kind of arrogance that we need for New South Wales. Kind of stuff we need to stop that rot. Alright, now comes part of the show where we look back to simpler times. Even when Gerds had just started playing, in reminiscing. Gerds, do you remember when Laurie Daly dropped the Winfield Cup? Who could forget that? Mate, but the way things are going, it was the last time the Raiders will get their hands on the Premier's trophy. I mean, come on, mate. You've got to be in the know. You know a few people down there. What is going on in our nation's capital? Mate, gee, tell us how you really feel. Jeez, I hate to get on the bad side of this, fella. Mate, anyway, that also brings us to this week's hot topic. Now, Canberra are attempting to block any team from signing their sacked fullback Josh Dugan. They've asked the NRL not to register any contract the disgraced player signs. They did the same with Todd Carney and were successful. Oh, it actually helped Carney's career turn around and also his life. This time, however, there has been no criminal charges, just Dugan breaking team protocol. And, well, they're going to argue to the NRL that he also bring the game into disrepute. Now, some former players have come out and said that it wouldn't be fair not to let the bloke earn a living because, well, couldn't do that in any other profession. Well, I do have some news for the other former players out there who don't really know exactly what's going on there. Many of us mere mortals actually have in our employment contracts an anti-poaching clause, meaning that there are certain stipulations, meaning that we can't go to a competitor straight from where we were, that's a direct competitor, within, sometimes it could be 12 months, sometimes it could just be within a 5 to 10 kilometre radius and all that. So that isn't necessarily a restraint of trade, it's just making sure that when you move on, you're not bringing with you either a wealth of clients or the ability to bring the other company down quite quickly if you're moving there to there. That's perfect, exactly what's happened to Canberra. They've treated Dugan with the utmost respect through the pre-season, made sure that he's fit, strong, game plans, knows all those things, and also they put through in a very expensive rehab for some of his many injuries, including his infected lip that almost kept him out. Yeah, that's right, an infected lip. Just shows where his mindset's at. I think Michael Hagan actually put it best when the NRL said that, or that he thinks the NRL has a duty of care to Josh Dugan to sort his life out before he gets back on the football field. I'm not going to argue with him. I actually think that's 100%. He's 22. He's earned plenty in the last couple of years. If he needs to take 6 months off to get his head straight, to get his life straight, we could be seeing the best out of Josh Dugan for the next 8 years. Not just, seeing a shadow of what the player could be. Mate, let his body heal properly. Let him have his time off. Hell, maybe he can go to some country rugby league and play there and help that district out. Help Todd Carney. Maybe you can help him. Gertz, thanks for sticking up with me on that one. And for those of you following our Facebook retro jersey post, you would have noticed we have been inundated with plenty of ideas. Now, we here at Talking Footy have decided to turn this into a competition. Keep posting your retro jerseys on our page, and come Origin time, we will come up with the top 5. We will then put it to a vote to the people. Now, the person who nominated the best jersey will receive one of our fantastic mystery prizes. The winning jersey will be petitioned to Sportswear Makers Canterbury to make it in their first line of retro jerseys. Now, I sent an email the other day off to Canterbury, hoping, haven't got anything back yet, but hoping that they do continue to make the retro jerseys. If you've seen on our Facebook page, a couple of the jerseys put forward were actually made originally by Canterbury, so it can't be too hard. Now, time for our tips of the week. Gerds, you're a smart man, you're in the know. Who's your money on? You're a braver man than I am. Ooh, fair enough, if that's how he wants to do it. Mate, I'm backing the Raiders to continue Illawarra's hoodoo at Bruce Stadium. 13 years, 10 games, plenty of shellackings, both teams without a win. I reckon the Raiders head to head. No points in that. Don't worry about that. Well, another episode, another job well done. This show is brought to you by Josh Services for all your security needs. And the eBay store, Phillips 79. All footage seen on this show is thanks to his wonderful library. I've got plenty of it. It's fantastic, so jump on and have a look. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and to jump on to talkingfooty.com for all your football needs, whether it be the round ball game, the retarded sharing game, the boys with the Gilberts or with the Steeden, they got you covered. Special thanks to Gerb for filling in this week. Mate, just goes to show he's not just a pretty face with his insightful words. Well, thanks, mate. No worries. Hey, sometime I'll come over and stop by for a coffee, eh? Beautiful. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Cheers.